Well, I have to say, one of my favorite parts of James Gunn taking over the DC Universe has been how interactive he has been on social media. And recently, he made it really clear. The upcoming DCU is going to be way more expansive than even many people had predicted. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about which mediums are going to be included in this plan and how it appears to be more ambitious than ever. Well, as many of you know, recently DC Studios scooped up James Gunn and Peter Safran to lead the charge, and they've been entrenched on developing that 10-year plan. Now, neither one of them have divulged any specific plans for the DC Universe, but Gunn has been very active on social media, sharing all kinds of cool images leading to a ton of speculation, and more importantly, fakers and grifters getting slapped down by the man himself. Now, many of us have always assumed this new DCU would absolutely have all of their movies, and would include many of these TV shows, but we also found out it would include animated projects, leading to a lot of questions, but proving Gunn was more ambitious than we previously thought. Now, James Gunn has added some very interesting details, answering a question over on Twitter. Now, earlier, James had an exchange on Twitter, and he's been answering a lot of questions about what will be in the DCU. After answering a question about television and animation, there was a follow-up question that's garnered a lot of attention. Let's check it out. Now, in the question, the Rabid Possum asked, "Are there plans for games to be connected to the DCU as well, Mr. Gunn?" To which he replied, yes. Now, quite honestly, adding video games to the mix would be a great way to separate themselves from Marvel. Also, considering DC has had some awesome video games over the years, with some, like Injustice, leading to full-fledged franchises being born underneath of them. Now, this wasn't something I think a lot of people were considering before, and it really would be a bit of a game changer for the DCU. How deep they'll go with this, we'll have to wait and see. The story told in a video game is quite long, and I could see it being used to flesh out maybe some side characters, or even mythology associated with very specific places like Atlantis, Themyscira, or Krypton. Now, I do believe these games will be canon, and that'll be important to fans, but how much of required playing will be part of these stories, we'll have to wait and see. I cannot imagine a scenario where they're producing movies that cost $250 million that requires a fan to have played an 18-hour video game in order to understand what's going on. I think this is an important caveat that people should understand. Now, DC Studios hasn't announced any video games yet. As a matter of fact, Gunn's made it very clear. Only him and Peter Safran know what they're talking about, no one else has seen their plan yet, and they'll reveal it when it's ready. Now, when this will happen, we really don't know. Quite honestly, guys, I suspect it won't be until next year. We're going into the holiday season, and I think before they reveal their plan to the public, plenty of people on the inside of DC will see it. It just won't be made public, or at least until it leaks. Now, obviously, we're going to follow everything DCU and DC Studios from James Gunn as the 10-year plan comes together. I really do think he's going out on a limb here to be really bold by including video games. That's ambitious, and quite honestly, it's not something Marvel Studios has done yet, so I like the idea of him setting a new frontier for the overall world of the comic book genre. It will be curious on how he integrates these stories together, but we'll have to wait and see. So, until we know more, what do you guys think? How do you feel about James Gunn including video games in the overall DCU story arc? And how important do you think these games will actually be to the bigger story? Tell me what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you hit like, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you won't get any updates. Peace.